8-0 last night, and all of a sudden, Carlos Pena delivered, Higginson and Young, and it was 8-8. Gartenhire started the starter, and Radke was good, and then they took the guys out, and all of a sudden, bottom 9, Alex Sanchez goes to second, and he beats the throw. He's in scoring position 1 pitch later. Jesse Orozco delivers. Sanchez goes again. He stole 4 bases, 90 feet away from their biggest comeback since 1965.
Here it comes. Swing and a miss. The pitch gets away from the catcher Bowen. Sanchez comes in to score, and the Tigers win. The Tigers, unbelievably, come from 8 runs down on a night when they face history.
I mean, are you serious? A team that can't get out of its own way comes from 8-0 down and wins.
They look like the Cubs right there.
As I said, I've never seen that before. But even if they lose today, they'll have a better record than the Mets. So they're not the worst team of all time, but they're pretty bad, unfortunately. And that was amazing yesterday.
They'll avoid that distinction. Now, for Detroit, there is that gray, very fine line between a September to remember or one that you absolutely cannot forget for all the wrong reasons. Not surprisingly, part of Detroit's downfall has been their defense, or lack thereof. Most errors in the American League, worst fielding percentage in the American League. However, flashes of brilliance mean even the Tigers can participate in the Web Gems of September. Making the Web Gem of the Year awards even more difficult. Web Gem synonymous with the Twins, young pitching not so, but Johan Santana gets the call in Game 1. What that means, Childs leading in a men's world. An American League playoff preview as Pedro gets set to take on the Oakland A's, and Mike Mussina and the Yankees, they begin another trek towards the World Series. Long gone and hard to find. Great home run hitters, great home runs, and the significance of what Sunday might mean next.
ESPN Radio. Go to ESPNradio.com to find it in your town.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you got to go talk to your doctor.
See your doctor and find out if Viagra's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Love that just been to the dentist clean feeling? You can get it every day with the Crest Spin Brush Pro. with 2 moving heads for a more powerful clean. No wonder 8 out of 10 people said it was better than any brush they've tried. Crest Spin Brush Pro. Denny's has 3 new complete breakfasts. Try the meat lovers with ham, sausage, and bacon. A country fried steak with hot biscuits. Or the savory smoked sausage breakfast. All 3 come with fluffy buttermilk pancakes for just $4.99. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
Attention! Cable rates have increased up to 5 times the rate of inflation in 1 year. At Dish Network, you get the best technology at the home of the lowest all-digital price every day, with entertainment packages starting as low as $24.99 a month. Now you can get satellite TV in 3 rooms of your home free, with free installation. Want more? Call now and ask how you can get 3 months free of our most popular value pack. Visit Radio Shack, Sears, or a local participating retailer, or call 1-800-WOW-DISH.
Deodorant, it makes you not smell, but it smells.
Sure unscented, keeps you dry with the strongest ingredient on Earth. Now that's extraordinary protection.
Sure works and doesn't smell.
Raise your hand if you're sure.
From executive producer Danny DeVito, easily the season's coolest new show.
I'm Marshall.
I love Karen. Gugino sizzles in the role. First rate, watch Karen Cisco.
I like catching the bad guys.
Karen Cisco premieres ABC Wednesday, 10/9 Central.
It's just a game packed with moments that decide championships. It's not just baseball, it's the playoffs. The Division Series begins Tuesday at 1 and 4 on ESPN.
Back here on Baseball Tonight, Pedro Martinez goes in Game 1 for the Red Sox. He'll be opposed by Tim Hudson. This is a pitcher's dream, isn't it, to watch these two?
It's a viewer's dream to watch these two guys.
You don't like a lot of offense. It's a nightmare if you're an opposing hitter. Who do you think Tim Hudson has to focus on in that Red Sox lineup? Is there one guy?
Well, I think probably the biggest guy is Manny. You keep Garcia far outfaced. That way you can pitch a little careful to Manny.
Here's your schedule for the Red Sox and the A's. 10 o'clock Eastern time. Game 1, folks. That's Wednesday. It'll be on ESPN. You see the rest, both daytime games, including Saturday at Fenway Park at 4 Eastern. There is no Bill Miller in Boston's lineup today. He's leading the American League in hitting by a point over Derek Jeter, who is scheduled to play for the Yankees. And Manny Ramirez, who trails Miller by 2, he's also not in the lineup for the Boston Red Sox. Well, drive up and down the Massachusetts Turnpike, and there are signs flashing, "Congratulations, Red Sox," the first of many steps along the way. There is more free love flowing through Red Sox Nation than there was in Nestor's Farm in 1969 in upstate New York. Now, the one thing that 10 years later Woodstock had, well, you had We Are Family, you have that 69 We Are Family feeling, and all of a sudden the 2003 Red Sox are embracing each other like they've been together since they came out of the womb. All things in common. Are they family now? Will they be family later on? With much more on that, member of our family, Neil Everett.
The Pirates were managed by Chuck Tanner, small-town Pennsylvania-born baseball man who in 1979 won his only division title and World Series at the age of 50. The Red Sox Grady Little is another small-town baseball man who in his 24th year of coaching and at the age of 53 takes his team into the playoffs in just his 2nd season as a manager. The MVP and soul of the Pirates was Hall of Famer Willie Stargell. In '79, Pops was named co-MVP of the National League after hitting .281 with 32 home runs and 82 RBI. Stargell continued his great play in the playoffs, earning World Series MVP honors while leading the Pirates past the Orioles. With his hugs and home runs, David Ortiz is the Willie Stargell of the Red Sox. Ortiz's numbers virtually mirror those of Stargell in '79, and one could argue Ortiz is worthy of at least co-MVP honors as well. While Stargell was the MVP, Dave Parker was arguably the Pirates' best hitter. Parker seemed to do all the right things between the lines, but he seemed to play by his own rules beyond them. In Boston, Manny Ramirez carries that same torch. Ramirez might be the Red Sox best hitter, but his enigmatic personality prevents him from being a leader. The Pirates' leadoff hitter was their speedy center fielder, number 18, Omar Moreno. Moreno led the National League in '79 with 77 stolen bases and finished 2nd in runs with 110. The Red Sox leadoff hitter is their own speedy center fielder, number 18, Johnny Damon. Damon eclipsed 100 runs scored for the 6th straight season and eclipsed 30 stolen bases for the 2nd straight season. The Pirates acquired third baseman Bill Madlock from the Giants halfway through the '79 season. Madlock sparked the Pirates, finishing with a .328 average with Pittsburgh. The Red Sox have their own Bill M, third baseman Bill Miller. Miller, who came to the Sox from the Giants as well, is battling for the batting title and could finish at the same mark as Madlock did in Pittsburgh. Closing the door for the Pirates was submariner Kent Tekulve. Tekulve finished second in the National League in 1979 in saves with 31. The Red Sox run out a submarine-style closer of their own in Byung-Young Kim, who will try to extinguish his postseason demons. The 79 Pirates led the National League in runs scored with 775, while the Red Sox lead all of baseball with nearly 1,000 runs scored. The Pirates finished second in their league in home runs, the same spot the Red Sox sit now. While there are many comparisons between the two teams, there is only one comparison the Red Sox want to share with the 79 Pirates, and that is World Series champions.
You certainly can see the comparisons. Now, will they inevitably end up in the promised land?
Well, we'll see. Both teams have great resiliency. If you remember those 79 Pirates, they were down 3-1 in the World Series to the Orioles. They won Game 5 in Pittsburgh, then won Game 6 in Baltimore, and before Game 7, Earl Weaver of the Orioles looked at some of the writers and said, I don't have a good feeling about this game, and Willie Stargell hit a 2-run homer off Scotty McGregor, and they came back and won that game and won the World Series, and I don't think anybody has a good feeling facing the 0-3 Red Sox with the way they swing the bat.
The way they hit the ball is exactly right. You look at the 0-3 Red Sox, and again, Miller not in the lineup today, Manning not in the lineup. Jeter needs to go 2 for 4 in order to win the batting title. A 1 for 3 or a 2 for 5 will not get it done. So many people would love to see a Red Sox-Yankees LCS, but neither one of those series are a fait accompli, especially with this Twin team pitching the way they're pitching.
Well, the Twins right now have played so well in the second half, and the reason that they have is simply because of the way that their starting pitching has gone. And you look at who they're starting in Game 1. Johan Santana started out the season in the bullpen, and you know, you start in the bullpen and all of a sudden you're in the rotation, but he has done so well in the second half. Brad Radke, on the other hand, he has really stepped it up, especially in September. And all of these guys, and Los is going to be the final guy in this picture, but in order to make everything change between losing 13 ball games in a row to the Yankees, you've got to go out there and pitch well. And all three guys, the onus is on them. The bullpen is going to be fine. They've swung the bats well. But if they don't pitch well against the Yankees, it's all for naught. Radke has really come alive with that changeup, and he's got to be a guy that is a leader for this ball club. Los has probably got the best stuff of all three of these guys, but he's one of the youngest pitchers that they have on the staff. And young pitching in the postseason is very difficult simply because you've got to overcome all of that anxiety and all of that adrenaline.
And the Yankees don't have young pitching. They're seasoned.
They have old pitching, and it's good pitching. And if David Wells wins today, that's 15 wins for him. They're going to have 4 15-game winners for the first time since 1950. That's who the Twins are up against.
Overall consistency. Jeff mentioned it. We'll talk about young pitchers, those with very little experience going in the postseason. And no more pressure than Johan Santana faces as he will go up against the Yankees. And then there are those grizzled veterans like Maddox. Stay here. We have much more to do.
Escalade ESV, the biggest of the breed. Cadillac, breakthrough.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamonds, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you've got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
With the PGA Tour's Player of the Year award up for grabs, 4-time winner Tiger Woods takes on Davis Love, Mike Weir, and money leader Vijay Singh in the tournament that could help decide it all. The American Express Championship,
Live coverage begins 2 p.m. Thursday on ESPN.
When you get a GMC Yukon, you get much more than you expect. You get more horsepower and more agility than any other full-size SUV. And if you hurry into your GMC dealer today, you'll also get more to choose from. Right now, your GMC dealers have an incredible selection of Yukon XLs, and GM employees and eligible family members can get $6,000 total cash back. Upgrade to professional grade with $6,000 total cash back. See the pros at your Tri-County GMC dealers.
You'll love the people at Carl's Golfland.
When people come to Carl's, it's like, wow, I didn't know there were so many clubs.
Some people know what they want, some need a little advice.
If we know enough about your game, we can help you find what will improve it. You take a few clubs out to the range and find the one that works best for you.
I may not be a fashion designer, but I know what looks good. Oh yeah, with Carl's low price guarantee, our prices always look good too.
Making you happy? Easy.
When all you do is golf, you do golf best.
Working our way towards that Brave Philly game, and you look at the Braves, you think veteran pitching, Philadelphia young pitching. Now that we're in the postseason, all eyes are going to be on the Game 1 starters. And traditionally, you know, Maddox, that's not the way it's going to be this year. Well, it's not the way it's going to be. And we just got finished talking about the Minnesota Twins and how important their starting rotation is going to be for their series against the Yankees. And they are going to start Johan Santana in Game 1. This is a guy that started in the bullpen for the Twins, a very young starter, doesn't have many starts in the big leagues, but yet he's going to step into Yankee Stadium and be the Game 1 starter. Tough job. Josh Beckett, on the other hand, you're talking about young, but this guy has pitched so well. He's got tremendous stuff, and I think if you're Jack McKeon, you want a guy that can go out and match pitch for pitch with Jason Schmidt. The best chance for the Florida Marlins, in Jack's mind and in my mind, I think, is Josh Beckett. He's got his work cut out for him, though. A lot of times it comes down to makeup or maturity. In a perfect world, you have both. But in situations like this, do you take the guy who's got the best stuff as opposed to maybe the best mental makeup? I think that what Jack is doing is looking at the improvement that Beckett has made over the long haul of the season. He didn't start out as being this #1 guy, but I think his last few starts and what he's shown maturity-wise handling tough situations allows him to be their #1 guy. And in Jack's case, it's not as if he's got, you know, 40-year-old pitchers on his staff either. That's right. But in Game 3, you will see some of these more familiar names with the Cy Young, save for Pedro, who's going to go in Game 1. Right, with Maddox and Clements, I mean, in Game 3s, those are... Why is Game 3 so important? Well, I think that Game 3 is important simply because if you're down 2, if you're tied, I mean, I think the pressure ends up being the biggest issue here. I mean, you look at Roger Clemens having to pitch Game 3 on the road. I think that's a huge game, especially if the Twins do happen to surprise the Yankees. Maddox, on the other hand, going into Chicago facing Mark Pryor, I think it's a pressure-packed ball game. It gives your team either a chance to save themselves in the playoffs or put them ahead. Mark Pryor, I think, classifies as one of those babies, but when you talk about maturity, you talk about perseverance and what he's accomplished this year, he sure doesn't classify as a baby. He classifies as a #1. Derek Lowe, I think the reason that he's starting Game 3 is simply because he has pitched so well at Fenway and so bad on the road, it makes a perfect decision to allow him to be the guy that brings Boston out of the hat when they come back into Fenway. I think that's probably the easiest decision of all of those. Yeah, and of course we'll break down all these matchups more on Baseball Tonight, leading all the way up to and through the playoffs here on ESPN and ESPN2. One thing we do on this program is get you up to date as soon as something happens. Carlos Delgado, the 4 home runs the other night, followed that with an 0 for 4, and now a 4-base home run with 3 men on. His 42nd of the year. Super that pitch was.
Yeah, that's the strong man there.
Tied for 2nd in the American League. There was nobody out when that happened. And Derek Jeter trying to win a batting title, although I'm sure he'd tell you it's not important. Getting into the playoffs and winning another ring needs to go 2 for 4 in the game to pass Bill Miller, who is not in the starting lineup for the Red Sox and likely probably won't be at all at the plate. So he's 0 for 1. We'll return. Web Gems of the Week. Plenty of those to tell you about. Put a wrap on this by getting some quick hits from these guys. Jim Thome and the Philadelphia Phillies battling the Atlanta Braves. That's next year on the final Sunday of baseball on ESPN2. In and out of the 3 key games.
Claire and I have a great partnership. She focuses on our designs. Oh, I love that. And I concentrate on sales. But the truth is, we couldn't do it without Visa Business. It gives us flexible payment options when ordering supplies. And the management report helps us track every expense.
CNC California, just one of the millions of small businesses that use Visa to help manage their cash flow.
It's almost like having a third partner, but they don't get their name on the label.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be.
Wicked.
So you gonna dial like a rock star?
It's the only way I know. Slap the 1-800 before collect. It's cake.
Right on. 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two. Sure. Adjective. Reliable. Worthy enough to be trusted.
Sure Fresh Scent keeps you dry with the strongest ingredient on Earth. That's extraordinary protection.
Haha. Sure. So effective it named itself.
Raise your hand if you're sure.
We're ready in advance, no matter when or where.
There's nothing worse than being ready to go and your car won't. So we're ready in advance. Ready with the right equipment, the right people, and the right parts. All at ready to go, low prices. And if it's your battery, we'll install it for free. So bring it on. We're ready in advance.
For the best parts, people, and price. We're ready in advance. Yeah, bring it on.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you got to go talk to your doctor.
See your doctor and find out if Viagra's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Got some big NFL appetites heading your way? Looks like you need the NFL deal from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. Order any large specialty pizza at regular price and you get a medium one-topping pizza and a 2-liter of Pepsi for just $1.99 more. A Pizza Hut pizza and a Pepsi. Gather around the good stuff.
It's just a game packed with moments that decide championships. It's not just baseball, it's the playoffs. The division series begins Tuesday at 1 and 4 on ESPN.
Baseball Tonight, brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
All right, folks, baseball at an update. These Tigers trying to avoid loss 120. Off to a good start in the first when Bobby Higginson dumps one out of the yard. His 14th of the season. All have to be rooting for the Tigers, right? I mean, you have to be.
That's $1 million a homer, right?
Touch them all, folks. Start with Jason Varitek this week. He became the 5th different Red Sox player with at least 25 home runs this season. Which offense do you take, Boston's or Atlanta's?
I'd take Boston's at Fenway. I'd take Atlanta on the road.
Politically correct. Jorge Posada. Yogi Berra gets tied. Most home runs by a Yankee catcher in a season. Great season for Posada with 30 home runs. He'll get some AL MVP consideration. Javi hits his 42nd here as a catcher, which breaks Todd Hundley's record. It was his 43rd this season, one pinch hitter. Talk about coming through in the clutch. You mentioned contracts. If you can ever live up to the amount of money that someone's getting paid, Tomei did his part, didn't he?
Well, he did his part, but he didn't get a whole lot of supporting cast.
Leads the National League with 47 home runs. That race to be decided today. Barnes, of course, right there with him. A-Rod right there for overall Major League home run king. Sammy Sosa's first National Leaguer to have 6 straight 40 home run seasons.
How about this ball?
Right, so it's Ruth, A-Rod, and Sammy. 6 straight 40 homer seasons. That's it, and that's a bomb.
And A-Rod and Sammy still in their primes. Barry's too shy of Willie Mays, 3rd all-time. He needs 2 more today. You see the at-bats from Barry on ESPN2 beginning at 4 o'clock. And Carlos Delgado, who already has a home run today, and he hit 3 in that one game, 15th player and the 5th in the American League to do that.
Re-entered the MVP race with all this. Of course, who isn't in the MVP race at this point?
Well, he was out of it. You're right. He re-entered it. I mean, he wasn't in it. And re-entered it and finishing with a flourish by hitting a grand slam today. Then there, of course, the ones that stayed in the ballparks. Some due to the glove work. He's emerged as a potential star, right? Louis Matos for the Orioles.
He's played great defense. He's just been a completely different player since he came up this year than previous times that he's been in the big leagues. What he found, I'm still not sure.
Pitching, defense, occasional power and speed make the Marlins formidable.
I love this guy, Juan Pierre, not only in center field, but at the top of that order. Creates havoc.
Vladimir Guerrero, watch him go back to the wall. Where do you think he's going to be next year, Tim?
My guess is he's going to the Orioles.
All right, Adam Kennedy. Adam Kennedy not playing Displaced fracture after being hit by a pitch last night, but a great web gem there.
Poor Edgar Martinez just cannot run.
Damian Jackson playing, oh, lo and behold, a spinning play.
Pirouette.
That was a 360.
Have to like the Padres in 04. Phil Nevin with a diving stop at first, coming home for the force. Can't blame the White Sox demise on Carl Everett. Great backhanded catch. Maglio Ordonez takes one away from Derek Jeter.
They're going to need Joe Borchard every day in center field next year if they're going to win, and Everett can stay and hit.
And a remarkable catch from Ryan Creel of the Cincinnati Reds.
This is a converted infielder making this catch, diving backwards. Oh, face plant.
That was an outstanding catch. We go from the web gems and touch them all to some quick pitches right now. Jeff Brantley, Tim Kirkshin, fire these things at you. The American League MVP, Jeff, is?
I think it's Manny Ramirez. Most feared hitter in that Red Sox lineup, and his team is in contention. They're in the playoffs.
Tim, I'm going to manage you. Go ahead.
I'm taking Nomar, 300 average, 100 runs scored, 100 stolen bases, premium defensive position, played it really well.
Is he back with the White Sox? He sort of has already waved the white flag.
I don't think he's coming back with the White Sox, and I think the white flag is the final straw. I don't think Mike Hargrove's coming back with the Orioles either. We'll see if there are any more other than that.
And Veterans Stadium, say so long to Veterans Stadium. You were there. Are you sad about this?
See you later. No, I'm not.
It's a lousy ballpark, but I spent a lot of days in there and thoroughly enjoyed it.
All right, as we look at the final day of the season here, what's the most important thing you think might happen today?
I think the biggest thing is getting your veteran guys a little time off.
Get them rested.
Get them ready for the playoffs.
The Tigers avoid 120 losses with a 20-game loser on the mound.
And Barry got to get 2. You'll see that, folks, on ESPN 2. So long.
The following is a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
No-hitter. Wins it by home run. He dives ahead.
There's still some postseason implications on the final day of the regular season. Greg Maddux and the Braves needing a win to clinch home field in the National League. And here you see it. The Braves, with a win, would clinch. Of course, the Giants' loss would also do it for them as well. We'll have that Giants game later today here on ESPN 2. A full day of baseball. Dave Revson and Rob Dibble here with you. And Dibs, we saw the Giants, or heard them, make the decision over the weekend that, hey, irrespective, we're not going to fly out to New York to play this game about the home field. Now, obviously, that was the right decision for them. I'm not going to ask you whether it was the right decision, but based on your experience, how much does home field matter in the postseason?
I think it's everything. You know, had we not had home field advantage 13 years ago against the Oakland A's, I mean, we started out 2-0 against them. We only needed to win 1 out. Oakland had come back up 3-2. So I think it's everything. You get your crowd behind you. You know what you're doing at your house. You come to the park. You've eaten a good meal. So you definitely want home field advantage.
So maybe I should have asked you then. Was it the wrong decision?
Absolutely the wrong decision.
Well, so you would have flown cross-country twice?
Absolutely. That's what you do in baseball.
Interesting. All right. Phil Miller, Manny Ramirez not in the lineup today against Tampa Bay. So the American League batting average race comes down to how Derek Jeter does. Needs 2 for 4 to win it. He's already 0 for 1 so far today. We'll, of course, keep you posted on that. The Tigers, their quest to keep things going, Gibbs, and avoid making some history here in a negative way. Bobby Higginson with the home run there. He is 1-0 Tigers on top. And with nothing
they were outmanned all year, but you know what? They gave it a hell of a finish, and that's all you ever want from your team is to go out there and play hard. They did it right at the end of the season.
Again, they have 119 losses. They need that win today to avoid tying the 62 Mets. Braves and Phils coming up next out to the ballpark after a quick break.